Are you sick and tired of knowing exactly what it is that you want, but then continually failing to make any real difference for yourself? That's like having a detailed map showing you where the buried treasure is, and you are just going the wrong direction. And then you beat yourself up over it because you're like, I know where the treasure is. I know where I want to go. I'm just not going there for whatever reason. Why does this keep happening? And I want to tell you, it is not an intellectual problem. This is a much deeper thing that by the end of this video, my hope is that you'll understand what has been getting in your way. But before I get into any of that, if you're new to the channel and you want to learn about how to embody proper strength as a man, getting out of shame, out of your limiting beliefs, and into your authentic strength, check out the videos, man. That's all the things that I talk about. What is happening here? You feel like you know what it is that you want to do. Like you don't want to be procrastinating anymore. You know that you want to be making more money. You know that you want to be approaching that girl that you deem is someone who's an ideal partner for you. You want to be starting that business. You have some ideas, but you're stuck doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. So what's happening here? When you notice these patterns and things keep happening again, it is because it is a deeper subconscious level thing. This is a byproduct of a faulty belief system. Let me break this down. Your habits or lack of habits in the direction of what you want is only a byproduct to your belief system that you hold. So this is the way that I kind of describe it for my clients. The things that we do, and I'm included in this as well, is only a symptom, not the root of the problem. Because what we do, how we live our life, is only a reflection of what we believe in. That's why I have an issue with a lot of mainstream coaches and guys on YouTube in the masculine sphere, because all of them attack the symptom, not the root. They talk about, all right, you want to stop masturbating? You want to stop eating unhealthy? Do this thing, which is valuable information. You obviously need to know different actionable steps, but until you address the root problem, it's only a matter of time until you revert back to your default habits. Think about it like this. If I believed that I was a no good, scum of the earth, terrible person who was out of shape and didn't deserve anything good in life, what are the chances of me defeating my habits of smoking, drinking, partying, maybe watching pornography, or going out all the time, spending money on useless things? If my belief system is I'm that kind of person, it doesn't matter how much I try to fix the habits. I try to stop myself from going out. I try to stop myself from wasting my time and my energy on things that temporarily fill me up. It's not going to work because the habits are just a distraction. They're a distraction from the feelings of how you truly see yourself. If you feel inadequate, if you feel insignificant, you feel like you're not worthy as a man, these negative habits that you have are simply just a distraction from dealing with and facing those beliefs because they're uncomfortable. How many guys are willingly going into uncomfortable situations because they know that there's something else on the other side? It's just a human condition. We are more likely to take the road that is the least resistance. But in order to really embody your strength as a man, to find your authentic calling in life, the identity that God has given you, you have to defeat the false identity that already exists. I know this sounds like a lot of heavy things that I'm bringing into this video already. This is the type of work that makes permanent change. Not change for a month or a year, but change that actually lasts you a lifetime. And by delaying the process of doing the deep work, actually coming face to face with your own shame conversations, your own unworthiness conversations, your own faulty belief system of who you are, it'll keep happening. It's like, imagine that you had a wound on your arm and you kept putting band-aids over it, but it just still kept gushing out blood. Nothing was stopping it. And that's what a lot of these mainstream advice channels and self-improvement advice turns into. They're just Band-Aid solutions. So you put a million Band-Aids over this wound, but it's still going. It's gushing. You're hurt, right? The Band-Aids aren't going to fix the problem. But if you actually go to the root and realize, oh, my arm is hurt because I keep running into a sharp object on the countertop when I'm walking past it in the morning. Maybe I'll stop doing that. I'll go a different route, or I'll raise my arm so I don't have to hit that sharp object anymore. And you can eventually stop the bleeding. And that analogy is exactly what's happening. It's like, instead of facing the root problem, trying to change your habits is actually just a symptom problem. Because the reality is this: if you have an identity that is rooted in fear, in shame, in guilt, in self-doubt, and just in a denial of who you are, you're only going to produce more shame. You know, the more that you try to avoid these feelings, the stronger they become. That's why I tell my clients, you can't heal shame by going around it, or going over it, or putting something else in front of it so you don't see it. You go through the shame. You understand why it's there, what put it there, and fully accept the fact that that is what is in front of you. You have to surrender to it. Give it to God, they say. It's not just about conceptualizing what I'm saying in this video. You're going to listen to this and you're like, wow, that makes sense. I get that. But it's much more work than just understanding something. You have to genuinely experience it for yourself for it to make a big difference. Now, I've done this work for well over 10 years at this point. I've spent almost $50,000 in my self-improvement. I've had a lot of mentors, a lot of coaches work with me through this. I've been through programs where I had to literally go deep, come face to face with my own limiting beliefs and my own faulty mentality of who I was. And it's taken me years to really begin making a difference in how I saw myself. So don't get discouraged, like you watch this video and you get done with it and you feel pumped up and ready to make a change that you notice it's not gonna be long lasting. You know, a 15-minute video is not gonna change your life forever. It might plant the seed, which is what we're doing here, but you have to be willing and committed to the kind of work that it takes to get there. Because changing your identity is really a two-part process. It's first an understanding and becoming aware of the identity that you are currently in, and it's also being aware of the identity that you choose and wish to be in, which is really your real identity, the identity that God gave you before shame took over. It's just like when you have a ride share and you're taking an Uber. What do you have to do? You have to put in your location of where you are for pickup, and then you have to put in the destination that you're choosing to go. Otherwise, the rider has no idea where to go. He don't know where to pick you up, and he don't know where to drop you off. You have to become aware of where you're at, genuinely and honestly where you're at, and where you desire to be. You have to build clarity around that, clarity on the identity. And the second part of it, which is probably one of the most important parts, is you have to make new choices. You have to begin stacking evidence and credibility that you can be this type of person. The reason you don't fully believe in yourself yet is because you had a lot of evidence in your past that confirmed that you weren't this person. Oh, well, I approached this girl and she didn't like me, therefore I believe I'm unattractive. Well, I started this business before, I did it for about a month, it failed, therefore I can't start a business. I don't have any skills, it's not for me. These pieces of evidence are not actually the truth. They're just what you've experienced up until now. If you continue to make those same choices and you continue to stay in that reality, you're only going to create more of what you don't want. Isn't that crazy? We think that we want to make a change because we have a faulty and dysfunctional identity, and because we have these belief systems, we don't end up taking the action that we need to take, which further delays and further confirms in our own bias that we're not that kind of person. It only feels true because you've taken that type of action up until this point. You can shift your choices at any moment, and over time, you build up enough evidence that becomes your identity. It becomes second nature. Look at me with this content. I started making content back in 2018, and up to this point, I've made thousands and thousands of videos. So that's just who I am now. I'm a content creator. I'm a coach. I'm a facilitator. Again, I'm not perfect, not at all. But I have the confidence in my abilities because I've done it enough times. I had enough evidence to show, wow, I actually can do this. I've gotten good results from this before. And sometimes I even still forget, and I have to remind myself what I'm actually capable of. This process is simple, but it's not easy. In order to change your identity, which is ultimately how you change your habits, because your habits come from your identity, you have to begin doing two things at the same time. Being honest and transparent with where you are, building that awareness of who you've been and the uncomfortable beliefs that you actually hold about yourself. Don't lie, because deep down you know how you really feel. The habits just become a distraction from that. And the second thing you have to do is to build undeniable evidence in the direction of the man that you know you're capable of being. Not even that you want to be, because that's not even the proper language. You know that you can be this kind of man. God put it on your heart for a reason. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't you. That is your genuine, authentic strength. But you have to re-find that guy, because for a long time, the shame took over. And you started developing habits and false identities because that's just what you've been used to. That's what's been comfortable. So you have to literally break the status quo and go in the opposite direction. It takes time, but it is possible. And it is very, very, very transformative when you begin to do this kind of work. You don't just do the symptom level work. You do the root cause. You attack the source, because that is what makes the biggest difference in your life as a man. Everything else is kind of just window dressing. And if you want further help on this and support, because it is a hard process, it takes somebody who's been through this work themselves to hold you accountable and to give you a system to actually doing this, is what I've been creating in the last several months in my business. Apply for a strategy call down below. I only work with about 5 to 8 guys at a time. And I have some spots open right now for my new program launching in January, where we deal with this exact thing. So if you want support in this and you want a mentor, a guide, a coach who's been there and who's done that and is still learning through this process, apply for a call down below. We'll see if you're a good fit, and I'd love to support you through work like this, because I truly believe this is truly what my calling is and what I'm meant to do. At the very least, subscribe to this channel if you like content like this. It's very deep. It's not the surface level like self-improvement, masculinity content that you see online. I tend to go a lot deeper than what's out there. So if you like that and you want to see more of it, stick around and see what type of videos draw your attention. If you have a question around any of the things that I mentioned today, or any future topics or struggles that you currently have, any challenges, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I'm active on there daily, so I'll leave that down below as well if you want to check it out, and we can get in touch. Otherwise, man, I really hope you enjoyed that video. You're gonna see a lot of deep things that I talk about moving forward. I keep saying that. And it's sometimes hard to even condense everything into 15 minutes or 18 minutes that I've been recording this now. Even then, that seems like a little bit too small to talk about all the things that I have in store for content. At least I'm getting back to making long form videos, because it's been a while, and I definitely had a call to come back to this stuff because I know this type of work is extremely important. And frankly, there's not many guys in this space teaching this stuff, or more or less doing the work themselves and showing what they've done to overcome their own struggles, which is definitely something that I feel separates me, because I've been through that and I still go through my own things, and I just want to document my process. That's all for me, man. You know where the links are down below if you want to get in touch with me. Hopefully this video was valuable to you and you can take something away from this. Wishing you a great rest of your day. I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.